Hey, what is up, everybody? This is your host, Metron. Welcome back, and this is my coverage of Robert Kirkman's Secret History Comics, and this is the color comics. So sit back and enjoy. Alright, what is up, everybody? Metron here. Welcome back to my program. So this episode, which is episode what, 5, 6, something like that, basically covers Milestone comics. Now, back in the day, at least up until the 70s, most comics were basically whitewashed, to be honest. I mean, most of the people you saw in the comics, white people, heroes, white. And if they did have someone of any kind of ethnicity, it was pretty much a stereotype. So, you can imagine that anybody who wasn't white who read comics, I mean, at some point, poses a question. When are we going to get somebody as a hero? And so, for a long time, they dealt with stereotypes, but I will give props to Stan Lee, which this is one of the reasons why I love Marvel. He actually hated bigotry. So he actually come up with some legit characters. Now, they were still drawn by white people, but he actually had some characters that fit a little bit more to the bill. First off, they introduced Black Panther. Now, the process about Black Panther is that he originally went up against the Fantastic Four, which was a big group of heroes back in the day. I mean, these people went against Doctor Doom, went against Galactus, who was like this big giant outer space guy who devoured planets. They beat him. When Black Panther showed up on the scene, they couldn't beat him. And the one thing I love about, I had to say one thing about T'Challa. One thing I love about his character is the dude is wise beyond his years. He is a legit fighter. He is very honorable. And the dude is rich. I mean, like, rich. He's got more net worth than Batman / Bruce Wayne and Tony Stark / Iron Man have together. I mean, him being the king of his own country, T'Challa's got money coming out the ears. I mean, this dude's got a big bank account. I want to kick it with T'Challa. Dude, hit me up. Let's be friends. Hey. Alright, but another character they introduced was Luke Cage, which was another black hero. And even though he was still a brother, they didn't do him justice because, he didn't. I mean, nobody really knew how to basically make him sound like a guy from Harlem, as opposed to just giving him some kind of like weird sayings and try to make him talk like he was not white, and it didn't exactly work. I mean, when you're so used to dealing with stereotypes and you try to turn around and do something against stereotypes, you end up still doing stereotypes. You basically shoot yourself in the foot. So, up until like the late 70s, early 80s, there really wasn't too many heroes. But at some point, our boys in the story, which one was like Dwight, a couple of his other boys got together. They decide they're going to make their own comic book heroes, black comic book heroes, and they're actually going to do this justice. So they come up with a couple of titles for Milestone Comics, which was a subsidiary to DC. One of the first heroes they came up with was Icon and Rocket. Icon was sort of like I guess you could say, Superman, while you had Rocket was basically the sidekick, a little young 14-year-old girl. Then you had Hardware, which was like the equivalent to Iron Man. And then, one of my personal favorites, Static. Nerdy boy who gets superpowers and becomes a hero. I personally am a big fan of Static. Back when Static Shock came out, that was my cartoon back in the day. Justice League was alright, it was cool, but I preferred Static Shock. The metahumans, awesome. The fact that Static could fly around on pretty much anything with his electricity and zap bad guys, awesome. I mean, to me, Static was probably the best hero growing up when I was in high school. And then, of course, you got like the Blood Syndicate, which was basically a big ethnicity set or a big ethnicity melting pot. Had a little bit of everybody in there, and they all had their own unique powers and own unique abilities. Things seemed good for Milestone. They actually were at the top of their game. But then they started doing some controversial stuff. One issue actually introduced Rocket as being teen pregnant. Oof, big controversy back in the day. Then they turned around and had another controversy, which, to me, I don't know what it was like back in the 90s, because I was still young, but they just showed a condom on the cover of an issue, and apparently showing any kind of sexuality was sort of a gray area, but for it to be about a black kid, apparently that didn't hit right with some people, so there actually was a bit of a controversy over it, and which that wasn't really what done Milestone in. Is the fact that sales went down. From the years of 93 to 96, they were the king. But within that time, they started had a slow decline until finally Milestone got phased out. But a couple years later, they introduced my man Static, Virgil Hawkins, on WB as his own superhero. Now, with that, they had a bunch of tie-ins with Justice League, Batman Beyond. So to me, Static Shock, that was my hero back in the day. Didn't care white, black, didn't care. He was an awesome superhero. So that's my take on it. I personally think that they need to introduce more ethnic, diverse heroes. And I mean, I don't want just more black heroes. I don't want more Asian heroes. I just want a diverse group of heroes. I don't care. White, black, Mexican, Chinese, whatever. I just want heroes. Good heroes. Doesn't matter about their origins. As long as you don't mess with the originals. Keep the originals as they are. Add more. Do something different. Hey, I'm all for it. Like I said, back in the day, Static was my guy. And he was not white. I don't care. But I will say this too. People were worried that after Dwight died, the Milestone Dream would fade away. But it hasn't, as far as I know of. They actually made a comeback, or they're actually working on a comeback. Actually reintroducing a lot of the heroes, trying to sort of revamp the whole series for most of the heroes and actually introduce some new heroes. I'm all for that. But, yeah, I honestly enjoy the idea of there being diverse characters. I enjoy that. I just don't want whitewash. I want diversity. I want something different. As long as the heroes have a good story, as long as they have good content, original stories, doesn't matter where they're from. I'm looking forward to Black Panther. I enjoyed Luke Cage. I mean, Black Panther looks like it's going to be an awesome movie, my personal opinion. But that's going to do it right for me. Let me know what you think about this down below. Give me a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my page for more content. And stay tuned to the end of the video for more content. But that's going to be right for me. Question for you is, have you read any of these comics up here? Let me know about them down below. My name is Metatron Rel. This is Nephilim Entertainment. To all you daydreamers and creators out there, keep your heads in the clouds. Peace.